Okay, so before I got distracted by my keylord from the last video that I made, I was basically saying, so what if homelessness does not exist? And I know that sounds crazy because what? We step outside and we see homeless people everywhere. But at the same time, it's like, what about if these people are just choosing to be homeless? When I was going through my spiritual psychosis, bitch, I wanted to be homeless. I'm like, what the fuck? Working a 9 to 5, working for a white person in corporate office, like that sounds like slavery. I'm not doing it. I'd rather be a homeless person. I was fully committed to being homeless. But then like I calmed down and I'm like, wait, I want to live in a house. I want to have nice clothes. I want to have food on the table. I do not want to beg on the street. That is not what I want to do. And I've been locked in ever since. Do I love working? Absolutely not. I hate it. I don't have motivation, especially because I'm doing something that I don't want to do. I'm still being controlled. So guess what? Now I have to figure out a way to make money without being told what to do. You know what? I have to follow my dreams. I have to try to make an effort to not play the game. Do I need to not play the game outside of like being homeless is figuring it out? So I also couldn't help but think about like spirituality and just how like we only have problems because we see problems, right? Like that's why they say like when you're going through this spiritual awakening, like turn off the news because you're gonna think the world is worse than it really is. And then we also think about like millionaires and trillionaires and people that are just super rich, and we're like, how are you guys not doing something? And this does not excuse them, right? Because at the end of the day, it's like, how can you be a trillionaire and not do anything about it? But at the same time, that's why I also try to stay out of like rich people's business sometimes, because it's like, how can you sit there and like judge? You don't know, like their mindset is different. They like rich and successful people, they see the world very differently than us regular folks, like people who are choosing to like play the game sometimes or whatever. I think they see the world completely different because it takes like a lot of intuition to build a business, and like it's like you got to follow your gut and stuff like that. So for me, I just couldn't help but think about like, what about if homeless people are like choosing to be homeless, one, and at the same time, imagine if you didn't have your phone. Imagine if you lived in a place with just like nature. There's nothing but nature. Like imagine if you lived at the beach, right? And all you see was like the sand and the water and like the mountains. Like you would think there's no issues like there, but why do like how do we know there are issues in the world? Because of our cellular devices, because we have all these external things telling us like, oh, there's this problem, there's that problem. But like if we didn't have these things, would we know that they exist? You know, I know this might sound really crazy because it's like obviously there are people who are hungry and we see them, but what about if we didn't see them? They wouldn't really exist. And that's what brings me back to my argument. Like, what about if a lot of homeless people are choosing homelessness? That does not mean if we see a homeless person, we shouldn't help. Doesn't mean we shouldn't be empathetic and like try to end homelessness. But at the same time, I'm like, there are people who are choosing to live that lifestyle. There are people who probably don't want to live that lifestyle, but I come on TikTok and I see people who are sleeping in their cars and then like they make it out of there and they get their first apartment. We see people like Tyler Perry. He talks about it, how he was sleeping in his car and now he's a billionaire. And like the creator of Abbott Elementary, like she also talked about, like we hear success stories about people who were sleeping in their cars, who were legit homeless, but they didn't want to be that. They saw themselves not living that lifestyle, and they figured out, like obviously it's not easy. You have to like climb your way there and you have to do what you got to do to survive. But I also feel like we shouldn't ignore the fact that a lot of people are choosing this lifestyle, and it's for them to wake up and be like, hey, I actually don't want to be homeless anymore. Maybe start as a janitor or like figure it out. Like I don't know. I know that sounds very like it sounds like I don't have empathy, and I do, but at the same time, can we like come to the reality that there are people who might actually like it where they're at? I don't know. I don't know. But I thought I'd share. Oh, and then to add on top of that, the reason why I use that excuse of like, what about if you're at the beach or like in the mountains and you don't have like your phone and everything, is because I did a 10-day silent meditation retreat and I didn't have my phone for 10 days. I wasn't able to use my mouth for 10 days. Like I had to just sit there and like meditate and like walk and stuff, like mindful walking. And guess what? There was like nothing bad happening other than like what my mind was creating. So like it also makes you think like, okay, so if I'm here with no phone and looking at nothing but like trees, there's literally no issue right now. Like there is no outside world. It's only what's right in front of me. And when you think about it that way, it's like, fuck, like, okay, so then what's all this other stuff? Like it's hard because it's like you don't want to like sound stupid, or like you lack empathy, or you're trying to like ignore like the world's problems. But what about if like there really is no problem?